scaring me.
We're going live. Dun, dun, dun.
Right.
We're going to see if we can blow this electronic stuff up.
One way or the other, we are going to figure this out.
Beautiful.
All right. There we go.
Hit the dismiss button. There. Okay.
Okay. I think we're good to go. Okay, everybody, come and say hi.
I'll be on YouTube.
All right. Anybody live on YouTube? Lance will be answering any text-in questions, and you guys can see me face to face. Felicia, it's so good to see you, honey. Becca, you too, everybody. Happy holiday weekend, everybody. I know everybody's trying to get through it. We're having a rough one here. Hang on, let's shut everything off here. We just have a dear friend. If you could say a prayer for my best friend. Her hubby got sent home from hospice or on hospice this weekend. So it's just a matter of time. So if you could say a prayer for her, we're going to be keeping her in our thoughts and prayers and trying to help out any way we can while he transitions into his next life and goes to be with the Lord. So it's just going to be a rough one for everybody. So we're stressing and our numbers are showing it. My body is showing it. My body don't handle stress well. And that doesn't matter if it's chemical, physical, or emotional. My body will reflect it in my numbers. I'm learning a lot this week. I was on live with drboz this week with the advanced course, which is going amazing, and it's going to get released, I think, on Tuesday. So anybody wanting to do the advanced course with drboz and us coaching, it will be released this week. It is an advanced protocol. So you kind of got to be ready to rock and roll when you she hits the floor running. So you got to be ready. But I kind of got a whammy this week, and I'm going to share it with you guys because most of you know that I had a heart attack, and I'm still 6 weeks out from my beautiful time down with Miss Vicky Barber. When I had my heart attack, I was with Miss Vicky in Texas, and I was ready to push forward because I know how my body feels best. And that is at keto continuum number 12. When I'm doing those 72-hour fasts, that's why not just because we like them so much. Hi, sweetie. My kids might be on here shortly too. Y'all stick around. My little ones will be coming in and saying hi. We live at keto continuum number 12. So we like those 72-hour fasts. That's when I feel the best personally. That's what makes the biggest changes in my numbers. And that is when the chemistry carries me and I feel good. That being said, drboz kind of put me a big old whammy this week and said, I am not ready to be there, that my body is still stressed. My body is still healing. And being in healing mode, I should not push to those 72s yet, which kind of slapped me in the face and made me cry and broke my heart. Just because I know where my body feels best. And I'm trying to wait that out, and I'm learning to find this balance. So kind of where the same thing we're telling you guys, where you're going to learn to read your numbers, you're going to know what affects your body. And I am learning to find that balance. And right now I am waking up with glucoses way over 100, 105, 111, 114. It's learning to readjust. It's learning to read my body again. The medications, my body is not liking them. As you guys can all see, I'm still a bruised up mess. It's just trying to learn to juggle where my life is right now and where my health is right now. And it's been a big learning experience of having to step back, swallow some pride, and learn to read my numbers and move forward. And that's kind of what I want to teach you guys to make sure, those of you that are in class, we got to know how to read that chemistry. And my body is stressing. That drboz is right. My body is stressing right now. It is not okay. I am out just learning a new routine. I'm trying to back up my eating window. All different things are going on right now, and my body's showing it. So it shows in your numbers. So when you learn to keep track and you learn to go over that, maybe next week I'll share my patient portal with you and show you guys my numbers, and you will see exactly that wave when the stress started hitting my life. And you can tell clear back to the day I had the heart attack, when my glucoses start going crazy, my ketones start going crazy, and I've just not been on track nicely since. So big learning curve.
Yep.
What you got going on?
No, nothing. just we're over here. I'm on YouTube over here. So any questions or anybody for YouTube?
All right. So a couple things we're going to go through this weekend. We all have holiday weekend coming, or holiday cookouts usually tomorrow. We want to talk about how to successfully get you through those cookouts. How are we going to get you to make good choices and know what to do? And we keep it stupid simple. You know, we're not big recipe people. We're not big throwing a bunch of different things out there. And especially when you're around it all, you know, we went down to my girlfriend's where her husband's sick and everybody's bringing foods and droppings. We had smells in our noses we haven't had in our noses for 4 years.
They brought in some pizza. They had homemade lasagna. I mean, just some serious stuff. Is like, I gotta get out of here.
We had to just, we left. We made sure everybody was okay, had what they needed, and we left. But you can't do that for family cookout tomorrow. You know, you need to be able to go in and adjust. So here's our tips. This is what we do. First of all, you do not go to a cookout, a family gathering where you know there's going to be every temptation in the world. Do not go hungry. You can go and have a little bit and enjoy, but we're going to work on the mindset of when you go to your family's cookout or whatever, you change the mindset before you even get there. It's about the people. It is not about the food. As much as you want to love and enjoy the food, it is about the relationships and what everybody's dealing with right now in life, between loved ones and sick ones and heart attacks and all of those things. It just makes life a little bit sweeter right now of realizing what matters is that baby crawling up right there in your lap and loving every minute of it. What matters is showing up for your family and being together and having those relationships. That's what matters. It does not matter what the hell's on your plate. And I guess don't give so much importance to going to that cookout and needing to have everything and every snack and every goodie and everything from your childhood. That's that endorphin feeling that everybody, there's my baby girls. You're going to want those things because they give you good memories. And what I want you to do is work on the mindset that's going to give you good memories from the people you're around, not because of the food on your plate. And work on it, make it an effort. When we go any place, we go to his mom and dad's on the first Sunday dinner every week, and we go in, it's grab the meat, whatever fat we can have, a little bit of salad, and we're good because we don't go hungry. We don't go in with a whole lot of issues. We don't go in craving anything. We don't go in the door starving, ready to chew our arms off or anything like that. We go pretty much stable, but you go in and you learn to pick and choose what you can do and what you can handle. So that's kind of what we do with it.
And there's something else too. I mean, if you are going to, I hate to say this, but it would be a smart idea. If you're going to like a picnic or something or to a family gathering, you may want to eat a little bit beforehand. So you're not hungry when you hit that. When you hit those temptations, when they're right in front of you, you're not as hungry as you were if you would be on an empty stomach or something like that. So get your fats in you before you even get there. And that just puts some, good cards in your hand.
It does.
To play that game.
It just makes it easier to walk forward. It makes it easier not to have the temptation. I'm telling you, I backed my window way up today. I'm trying to be done by 3:00 in the afternoon, which is really early for me. And getting all that fat in, it was like, making sure I got those fats in me because I had to make it through the whole night tonight with nothing. And I've done fairly well. She's not hangry yet. I'm not hangry. I'm not ready to kill him yet. But we're pushing through. And I think I'll be fine by the time I get to bed. It's just changing our routine because we have been so consistently, we eat dinner 1 meal a day at 5:00. We're done for the night. And I don't eat again till the next night. So I'm backing that all the way up. Lance is not going to be able to too because he's going to be at work during the day. So we're learning to readjust our whole schedule, my coaching schedule, my working schedule, my eating time. Everything is learning to be different. So that's all the things that we're working on. And I want you to get your calendar out. I want you to plan. You've got to plan ahead and think ahead. You can't just react and
this is good. This
eat
is
on
the
fly.
Yeah, this is going to be something different because she's going to be eating earlier in the afternoon when I'm actually at work. Yeah. And her window is going to be open a little bit longer from like my lunchtime to about 3. When I come home at 4:30, 5:00, then it's my window that's open. I'm going to try to stick to that OMAD that's still, 1 hour OMAD. So we're going to run 2 different places at one time, and we're going to see how that goes. I mean, but it's where we're both at. And we'll give you guys the scoop on how it's going. So
Dr. Boz was asking if saying that she hoped we're doing this 3-week program. I'm coaching with her in the new group, her advanced group coming in, and hopefully within the 3 weeks whatever it is she's trying to teach me about my body, I'm hoping I learn it in those 3 weeks. She's not going to give me the answers, but she says, I want you to figure out your chemistry. So I am hoping eating that earlier window and moving forward, and opening my eating window, which is another big one for me. So opening an eating window to me is scary, treacherous, moving backwards. So it really scares me because I know as soon as I am not fasting, my body quits moving forward and healing. That scares the daylights out of me. So I am trying to stay. I'm trying to trust. I've trusted this woman with my life all along here, and I'm not going to give up now. So I want y'all to stick with me here. And if you see me posting a little bit different or acting a little different, that is why, is because she has literally changed my level of keto continuum and backed me up. And I am going to try to.
She pulled the emergency brake.
Yeah, she, what's that? I can't, hang on, Vicky, you're muted, honey. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't say anything. I'm sorry if I raised my hand.
Other Vicky, hang on. Vicky,
Oh,
are
yeah.
you above you?
What did Lance say?
Oh, what did I say? She pulled the emergency brake on her. She pulled the emergency brake. Dr. Boz pulled the emergency brake on Tammy.
Tammy, what is your opening your eating window? What does it look like? Can you describe it?
She's saying 3 to 4 hours. So I'm going to go from noon to 3 right now. And I'm going to try to do it from noon to 3 and see how I do. And then not eat after 3 and see if my morning glucoses start to clean up. So that's my goal this week. Oh, you okay? Can you hear me okay?
Did everybody hear us okay? Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to open my eating window from 12 to 3 and not then have it clean before 12 and after 3. I'm going to have a clean, my salt, my black coffee, and water and tea. So that'll be the only things on the outside of my eating window. So my eating window is going to be noon to 3, and then I'm going to cut it off again and see if my numbers start to clean up. And then having that little bit wider of a window just gives me a little bit of grace. I'm not pushing, and I'm not going to do the 72s right now. I think I'm going to hold off and see what she's saying, see what she's trying to get me to learn from my chemistry. So I'm going to try to do that and see how my numbers do. As long as I don't start going too far backwards, I'm going to try to listen to what she said and see what happens.
I think the biggest thing is she's worried about is the stress to her system. So she doesn't want to stress her system right now in the healing that her system's trying to do. So she doesn't want to have 2 things going on at one time. And it's kind of frustrating because that's a lot of the healing that took place to get her where she was or get her where she is now is because we did the fasting. So it's kind of a little bit of a learning curve here because apparently this was a very serious injury. She's very, by the grace of God, here with us tonight. And because of what she's done before is made her able to be here tonight. So we got to back up a little bit, let her body not be under so much stress. And it's just a learning curve for us right now.
It is. But the blessing in it is I know how good I feel when I do fast. And that is how I do seem to reverse the damage. That's how I've healed. That's how I have made the changes, is getting to that keto continuum. But it's building that chemistry up every step of the way to do that. And I think that's where I need to just back up for a minute and get my chemistry stable again. And then I'll push forward. I'll be able to do this
when the time is right.
When I'm ready. But right now it's all over the place. My numbers are awful.
But that's the awesome thing about the continuum, because you can back up a little bit and not fall totally off the wagon. You can back up, regroup a little bit. Bonnie said that on YouTube. It's so nice that the continuum is built that way.
Yep.
Because you don't tank yourself. You just take a couple steps back and let your body catch up a little bit. And then when it's time, go ahead.
And that's the other thing too, when you set your goals, when we start talking about the beginning of keto continuum in the groups, in the classes, set your goals. What are you trying to accomplish? I'm reversing major metabolic damage, major mitochondrial damage. That is why I had to go clear to level 12 and we live there, because I am still reversing major damage. But those of you may just need to drop some weight, may just need to drop, get your blood pressure under control, or maybe your glucose is just a little bit high. Maybe you're just getting pre-diabetic. Things like that you don't have major health issues. I hope to God you haven't had a heart attack or cancer or any of the 9 live things I've seen you have survived through. But hopefully you guys, are doing something in the middle. You may not need to go to that level of keto continuum like we do. So set your goals and we're going to help you get there. So that's, pretty much the ball game for everybody. Doesn't matter what your goals are. If you're just here to lose some inflammation and a little bit of weight too, we'll just teach you how to do it right so that you're not just doing dirty, nasty keto and increasing sodium and increasing fats and increasing all the good stuff and keeping all the carbs and sugar too high. So that's where you run into the perfect storm of creating damage. So we'll help you do that. So let's see who wants to check in. Wayne, you've been on here the whole time. Come and be dedicated and tell us how your week's going.
Hi, everybody. So this is the first week that I jumped back into keto, completely followed my eating plan, put everything in the chronometer, looking at 7 days now. I've averaged under 15 carbs a day.
Nice.
After 2 days, all my hunger went away. So it's.
Are you reaching your fat macros on your chronometer?
Yes, I am, but I did throw out to the group earlier in the week. One thing that I was really surprised by is my fat goal has been changing daily. I'm wondering if it's because I have it hooked with my Fitbit and my level of activity.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. And
All
is
right.
it going up?
Well, days that I'm more active, yeah. That's why
Yeah.
I kind of pegged it to my activity level
Okay.
on my Fitbit.
So here's one thing you could do, and here's a little food for thought. Those of us that still have weight to lose, I do not count my energy in my chronometer because I still want it to stay strict enough. I don't want credit because I sit so much for work. I'm on my butt all day long. I don't want credit for the few steps I take. I need all the help I can get to get my weight to come off. I still have weight to lose. I still struggle with getting my steps in a day because I'm working, I'm in here on my butt. I can't be out moving around. So I'm struggling with that right now. So if it's one of those things, you can make that choice, but if you don't want the credit for the work, take that off, turn that part off on your chronometer, and then your fat won't fluctuate as much.
That's a good idea.
And neither will your proteins. And it's just a little tool to help you for those of us, especially at the beginning, when you want to see some results and you're kind of not quite there and you're not getting what you need yet. It's a nice way to play it. Now, once you're at his level and he's running 22,000 steps a day, then you might need to count for some steps so that he's getting enough. My daughter-in-law is the same way. She had to watch, they run their butts off all day. She worked in a hospital and was from one end of it to the other, that she had to increase her fats and, be careful on those steps and everything all day long. So just take your workout off or take your energy spent off so you're not getting credit for it. And that'll quit fluctuating so much. Hitting those fat goals is what's going to make you not hungry. So good for you.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah, I haven't been hungry. The only thing that's really scared me this week was getting back into testing my glucose and ketone levels. My glucose is, when I started at the beginning of the week, was over 200.
Whew.
So
Okay.
that really freaked me out. This morning it was 158.
Okay.
So it's dropped considerably. Still too high, obviously, but it's going in the right direction. These are
Okay,
all
good.
morning ones, so I know that's typically the highest.
Yep.
I did one at noon just for the fun of it to make me feel better, and it was 118. So
Okay,
that-
so you're getting down, but what I want you to do right now is I want you to stay slow and steady on keeping those carbs as low as you can,
Yeah.
so we can bring that down slow and steady and bring that glucose down. And that morning one will start to come down. What is your eating window still pretty wide? Because I know we're just jumping you back in, so I don't want your eating window tightened up yet.
yeah, that was one question that I had, because I'm eating 3 meals a day right
Good.
now.
Okay, and keep that
Um,
way for right now.
I should.
Yep, keep
Okay.
that way, because when you're saying you're not hungry, the only other thing I want to worry about, are you feeling full? Are
Yes.
you okay? So you're not hungry, or you're getting hungry and then you eat. Do you feel hungry before when it's time to eat?
Not especially. I ate tonight because Vicky brought me home food. So
Good hubby, good hubby. No, what you got to do right now is stay in that pattern so that when you go to do that, you will be able to start upping the fats and feeling hungry and full. So I want you to feel a little bit hungry, and we need to keep doing that till you feel that hunger before your meal.
okay, because
you
right
wanna
now
make sure
I'm not really feeling hungry at all.
Okay. Well, it could be because you're eating 3 meals with good fats and you're doing all of that. So it'll be at a time you'll be able to balance that out. But right now we want to make sure ghrelin and leptin are working, which is the one that makes you feel hungry and then the one that makes you feel full. So we want to make sure both of those are working before we push and start closing up that eating window. So
Okay,
we'll get
well,
there.
I'll keep eating then.
Keep eating for right now. Let's just make sure. And the only thing, if we push you a little too fast and move you forward in that faster than your body's ready, you got to back up and do it again. So it's easier to just drag your feet a little bit right now and make sure this section is good and stable. And then we'll push you forward once your body's ready, and we'll get you there. Don't worry about it. Good for you.
Well, it's a good lesson for you because I'm feeling bummed out that I shouldn't go down to 2 meals a day, and you're slowing me down just like Dr. Boz did for you. So
I know.
Nice. And the slower it seemed, I'm not going to say this.
It does.
It's not a race. It's more like a marathon. I mean, you have to be consistent. The more consistent you are, the faster your results will be.
Yep.
And it's not a sprint. Definitely not, because you'll throw yourself into a tizzy when you do that.
And Wayne, you can look on this channel just right now. Felicia, Bug, or
Jen,
sorry. Not sure how, and Miss Vicky Barber, they're all veterans.
and Virginia.
And Virginia too, down here in the corner. When you see them, you can ask every one of the veterans and all of us have probably done it. I'd bet my life all of us have done it. When you go through these first few sections too fast, you crash and burn and back up, and you have to do it again. All of us will probably put your hand up if you had to do it again, start over.
Me too.
Because we all try, we all try to go too fast. And it's one of those, that is why we purposefully drag our feet right now. Some people, young people, healthy metabolisms, healthy mitochondria, they can jump in, lower some carbs, quit drinking some pop and beer or whatever, drop a pant size, drop 50 pounds. It's amazing what people can do when they're doing it really fast and too fast when they're moving forward like that. So that's why we have to be able to just go slow. Just take your time. Don't move forward. Don't get in a rush. Just like Dr. Boz is telling me right now, I'm having to listen to the same thing, and it's frustrating because we all want to jump and run. We all want to get going. I want back to where I know I felt good, because this is not it. I feel awful. I'm tired. I'm struggling. My emotions are all over the place. My hormones are all over the place. I mean, it's hard right now. And when you get stable, I don't feel like that. And that is where I can say, get to where we're reaching your goals and get to each level and get stable, because that's where everything kicks in. That's when the emotions kick in. That's when the anxiety goes away. That's when, for the guys, the testosterone kicks in. For us girls, the estrogen and progesterones, all of those will level out, and we're not emotional basket cases all the time. Mine are obviously out of whack right now, so I'm a mess. But just stick with it, Wayne. You're doing great. Just keep going, plugging through one little thing at a time. Anything I can help you with right now? Anything you're struggling with today?
No, I mean, I'm much more alert. I don't feel hungry.
Good.
Vicky and I've been both working on our sleeping, trying to get to bed earlier and all, and we feel better with that.
Yep. We're doing the same thing. We're doing
That's a struggle.
a dark room, make sure all the lights are out. Even we're noticing little lights like a clock, like
We have our Alexa in there, and it has the time
clock,
on it.
and it's just that all of a sudden is now bright, and it's just it does help.
And I'm sleeping with my Muse headband on, trying.
I just ordered one of those for Vicky.
Good.
Because she's been having some challenges with getting to sleep.
Yep.
So
And-
she might be reaching out to you and asking you some questions when that
Please
shows up.
do. Please do. It is one of those things. I struggle with it. I'm trying to do it, and we'll be honest, I want to throw it across the room, because the last it's one of those things. But it is amazing when you start to really truly count those little bird chirps. I'm a squirrel brain. As soon as the bird chirps, I'm off. Woo! I got a chirp, which means you've calmed your head down, which means I just blew it. But it's learning to transition back and forth. The training in it is so cool. And then when you see how much actual deep sleep you get, that's where you're like, holy heck, no wonder I can't function. No wonder my brain is toasted right now. Your brain just doesn't kick in right. And you're going to notice all those changes. You'll notice the days you're sleeping. My sleep's been awful. My morning glucoses are awful. I'm not making ketones worth a hoot. and that's just not me. My chemistry's been so good and stable for months. And now I'm just all over the place, but I'm putting a toxin in my body. And when I say toxins, those are different for everybody of what affects you, but mine is a medication. Me putting a medication in my body every time messes me up. I did not start getting good numbers in drboz ratios until I cleared every medication out of my body. My body just does not like toxins. And that doesn't matter if it's medications. That doesn't matter if it's air sprays and things in our house. We don't change hardly anything because we know what works and what don't. And we detox our house. We don't let a lot of chemicals and crap in our homes and stuff like that. So it's a big, it's a big learning thing. And it's a big adjustment to really be noticeable of the toxins in your home and in your body, because it does affect everything. So we'll learn that. You'll get there one step at a time, but good job, Wayne. Let me know when your muse gets here and we'll help her out.
All right.
Felicia, welcome back. We've missed you. We're so glad you're on, hon. Come and check in. Tell us how it's going.
Hey there. I'm doing good. Well, I'm here.
That's
I'll be
a
doing
good thing.
good in a couple weeks.
No doubt. You'll get better. You're going to get right back on track. Your body's going to kick in. You're going to know what to do.
That's
Remember-
right.
Remember, it's a marathon. You got a long way to go. Come on.
That's right.
You know the science. You just got to. And here's for anybody that doesn't know Felicia. Felicia owns a bakery. So that's how tough for this poor woman to live on keto.
Uh-huh.
So we've suggested we're going to help her figure out some keto treats that she can put, but she's got the willpower of the Pope. God love the woman. She's trying to get back in it. She's done it for her and her family. But she's still, it's her business. It's one of those. So it stinks right now that she does this. She does what she loves. She's in a community that loves her bakery. And it's one of those things. She has a community to serve and a job to do. And she's got to do it. So she has done it before. So we're just going to get her back on track doing it again.
Yep.
She eats those sardines in that bakery like there's no tomorrow.
That's right.
So you let me know when you get your keto mojo and stuff, and we'll get you set up and going and get you on my patient portal so we can get you tracking you. So good job. Anything I can help you with, Felicia? Anything you struggling with that I can help you with?
Just chronometer. I'm going to have to get with you about chronometer,
Okay.
but I'll let me find my password and everything, and then I'll get with you.
You do that. And if not, we'll set you up a new account and just start over. It's no big deal. We can do that. We'll do that this week. You let me know. We'll talk.
Very good.
All right. We love you. You hang in there. Let us know what we can do. All right, Becca, you okay to jump in?
A couple days ago, I made a bad food choice. I didn't have anything pre-prepared, and I was very low energy. I have COPD, and my energy levels fluctuate radically. So, and I also have a husband who's a carb addict, and he keeps our refrigerator stocked with not only his favorite things, but things that I really like too. So, I didn't really feel like I had the energy to do any cooking. And I went and I thought, well, maybe I'd fry an egg or something. But to get to the eggs, there was a stack of hummus and bar cheese containers.
Jeez.
And I picked the bar cheese as the lesser evil, but I had cheese and crackers. And this was a couple days ago, and my numbers, even this morning, are still showing it.
Yep.
My glucose is over 100, my ketones are down about 1, and I was doing so well before then.
And that kind of stuff happens. I mean, it really does, and it takes so long. It takes so long to get back on that place again where your glucose and your ketones. I mean, just that one little shot of carbs will throw you out, and it'll take you a while to get back in.
And Becca, people like me and you that we have chronic disease that we're dealing with, we're that much more sensitive and insulin resistant and all of those issues. We have to be so much more stricter than the average person. That is why it's like, I don't have that luxury, and you probably don't either, to go off and have a cracker or two and it be not a big deal.
Yeah.
So
But
are
we're-
you ready to move forward? Are you ready to get back on?
Oh yeah, and
Okay.
the last couple of days I've been very strict about my diet and meeting my macros. Today I exceeded my fat macro,
That's okay.
which I'm very proud of the fact that I did that.
Yeah,
That's good.
I've got my macros set so that I'm 2-to-1 fat to protein,
Okay.
and I've more than made that today, so
Good
that
for
worked out
you.
really nicely. I don't have an eating window. I get full very easily, and I don't want to lose weight. My weight is a couple pounds below where I really ought to be.
Okay.
So I have a fatty coffee around 10 in the morning, and then maybe noon or 1, I'll have something more to eat, depending on if I get hungry. And then maybe 4 o'clock, I'll have something more, which I could easily skip because I don't particularly feel hungry in a late afternoon. But I know I need to make my BMR energy level of intake. So
And if you're
that's how
reaching all
that
your
goes.
goals, if you're reaching all your goals in that, Becca, then hold it there. Just
Yeah.
stay steady in it.
and just remember too, in Chronometer, you can actually set it so you can add weight. So it can actually add weight to you instead of lose weight.
Right.
Okay.
I'm just
And
jealous
I
I'm
know
not there.
keto is not a weight loss diet; it's a weight normalization diet.
Absolutely. Yep. You got
Um,
it. You got it
yeah.
then, Becca. Don't stress over it. Put the crackers behind you and move forward. But ask hubby not to bring those favorite things back in that don't fit in your regiment. So ask him with love and say you need him to not bring his favorite things in if he must, but not to bring your favorite things in.
Well, the trouble is his favorite things are frequently mine.
Yeah. See.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's
Right.
been living on, hummus and pita and, stuff like that.
Mhm.
And the way that our refrigerator is set up, to get to any of things like eggs, or if I pre-cook hamburgers and have those in the refrigerator or something like that, I have to get past his stuff. And so sometimes it's more of a challenge than other times. But I've been very steady at working out in the morning. This morning I got 28 minutes on my new step.
Nice. Good job.
And yeah, it's kind of like a recumbent stepper. I don't know if you're familiar with the new step, but it works your arms and your legs at the same time.
Cool.
But it's not as confusing to me as an elliptical is.
Oh
So,
yeah.
I'm mostly working on that for cardio, and for working on my lungs. I would like to gain muscle. But I truly don't have any space in the house where I can do weight stuff. So
Is there anything like, do you have any just like wristbands or anything like that? Or even just, I've told people to use soup cans, and just while you're sitting, just use
Yeah.
soup cans or something like that, just for little bicep curls, little things that you can use. Well, not jumping around the whole house or whatever, but just sitting still and still doing resistance training. And that's still going to give you that little bit of strength training that you can, it's better than nothing. So do what you can do, Becca. Don't beat yourself up. You're doing great.
Well, I'm working on it.
Good job. Good
So
job.
we'll see where I go from here.
All right.
Keep it up.
Keep it up and let us know how we can help.
Okay. Oh, I have
Oh, sorry. Hang on. There you go.
on the patient portal. Does my Keto Mojo feed into that automatically, or do I need to make sure to enter the numbers? Because I've been entering my numbers every morning.
Okay, if you are entering your numbers into the Keto Mojo app, then if you've already been synchronized in here into my portal, then it should update for you. Now, are you
Okay.
manually?
Becca Price.
Yep,
I'm,
you're in.
I'm automatically doing the Keto Mojo and the syncing with the app on my phone.
Okay, then
It's the patient portal. Do I have to enter the numbers or will it automatically update?
nope. Once you've approved it and let it do that, it is already updating over here on my end. So I can bring your report up right here. My last one for you is, hang on, let me bring your daily reading. Is
101.
had
You had a
101
glucose of 101 and a ketone of 1.0.
at
Yeah, that was this morning.
9:42 this morning. So it's coming in. That's
Okay.
the cool part of this portal. So I will be able to pull that up and look for each of you when we do your consult.
Okay, great.
So that'll be perfect. So good job. Nice.
Thank you.
Loving this thing. I really am. Virginia, come and say hi. Come and tell us how you're doing. Hello, beautiful.
Hi, everybody. So good to see you all. As the new faces, good to see you.
No doubt.
I had a very interesting week. I kind of started off at, medical. I had a stress test a couple weeks ago, and they said, well, the doctor's not going to be available for your follow-up appointment next week. So we're going to put you out for 2 months. So I said, well, okay. So in the practice, I went to another doctor. So I had an appointment in 1 month instead of 2 months. But the next day they called me and said, well, there was something that we saw on your stress test. So the doctor found an opening for you tomorrow. So I went in. But first, I'm going to preface this. I had a CAC done a few 2 or 3 months ago, and it was 0. Had one done 5 years ago. It was 0, and a different lab. I mean, a different radiology center. So I mean, I'm trusting it. I got off Crestor with the permission of my internal medicine doctor about in January this year. And I do have a history of breast cancer. I had chemo and radiation and surgery. I didn't have, and had some lymph node involvement, but that was 7 years ago. So I'm 7-year cancer free from that. Thank God. Thank you, God. I pray every day. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Prayers of gratitude. But anyhow, my CAC was 0. From a few weeks ago, my triglycerides were 78. My HDL was 64. My LDL was 121, which is a little high. But anyhow, the cardiologist wanted me to go back on statin. And I said, but things that I've read, and I told, Dr. Sinatra's book, I didn't tell him the name, but it was a cardiologist, Dr. Stephen Sinatra, said that statins really are not beneficial to old ladies with no history of cardiac events. And he crossed his arms and he turned around and looked at me and he did like this. And he said, but you did. And I said, but I didn't. He said, yeah, you did. That was what showed up on the stress test. I have scar tissue on the anterior lateral part of my left ventricle. And what feeds that is, from my cardiac nurse history, is that I know what feeds that is called the left anterior descending artery. That is called the widowmaker.
Yep.
So I had a cardiac event involving the widowmaker and didn't really even know it.
The left cardiac. She had the right cardiac artery that was involved in hers.
Yeah, but he said this is from the chemo that I was on. He said it's a damage from the chemo. And I said, well, wow. And I said, well, what do I do? He says, do what you're doing.
Yep.
And I said, well, can I exercise? He said, do you have chest pain? I said, no. He said, you have shortness of breath? I said, no. He said, you have dizziness? I said, no. He said, yeah, you can exercise.
Virginia, God love you. I think so common. I am hearing it more and more. And the same thing, my cardiologist down in Texas said the same thing, that he's seeing it more and more for those of us that's had those chemos and the radiation. The damage coming from those medications down the pike is just now being seen. And I think it's huge to think, he said, if I wasn't in the level of ketosis I probably wouldn't be here. It's just those kind of things we have our chemistry on our side now. But what a scary damn thing. And to know that you had a cardiac event, because the morning I woke up at Miss Vicky's in Texas, I thought I was clenching. It was my jaw that was sore. I never had, even through the heart attack, I never had a chest pain, never. It was all right here in my jaw. It
Yeah.
was all my neck.
Well, I mean, I've had stuff that I didn't feel good, but I didn't, I really didn't attribute it to the, and I mean, I have a little bit of experience with that. So I would think that I would
Yes.
know that I did, but it was
Yep.
funny. What's really odd about this is I kind of wallowed in self-pity for a couple of days thinking, well, now I have to say I have cardiac issues and I have cardiovascular disease and oh, boo-hoo. And I don't want another friggin' doctor,
Exactly.
I don't want my social calendar filled up with just doctor's appointment because I have too much stuff to do. But anyhow, then I thought, well, why don't you celebrate that you survived
Right.
that kind of a cardiac event? So let's change your mindset around, just flip it right on its butt.
Yep.
Virginia,
So
you said your doctor said it was from the chemo that you had.
yes,
Okay. Because the one that was affecting her was from the radiation that she had.
oh,
And
see,
chemo.
my
Chemo too,
radiation was
though.
on the other side. That's what I asked. Was it the radiation? He said, no, the radiation was on my right side. He said that this is from the chemo.
Mine's both
Yeah.
because I've had the
But-
combination. Mine
But
was
it's
awful.
scary. So, but I had to flip my mindset around to say, don't wallow in, oh, you're a cardiac invalid.
No,
Boo-hoo.
you're here. You are here.
You
Just
can walk
know,
6
I mean-
miles without having any problem. Just do it. But I went back to the gym to start working, not just with weights. I work on weights one day and then like a cardiac aerobics class the next day. The next day I take a rest and then I work on weights 2 days a week.
Good.
And then a couple of
Nice.
classes of aerobics. But boy, after those aerobics classes and just the cardio stuff, I am so hungry. Not
More fat.
immediately.
You don't have
More
enough fat
fat.
on you anymore. You need fuel.
More fat.
You reached
Okay.
those weight
I'll have
goals.
to, oh,
That's
at Sunday dinner today, this is a funny story. Everybody will really like this. This is my favorite. I baked chicken thighs and I got chicken bone in, skin on. So, but I took the skins off and I make this like my own fake mole sauce with cinnamon and cocoa powder and chili powder. Anyhow, but we had the chicken, but the chicken skins, I put them on parchment paper in a pan and bake them.
Yes.
So we had
Ooh.
chicken skins and I was just gonna, wrap them up after they cooled and put them back in the fridge. Everybody liked them. Said, well, no, I don't even eat the rest of the week.
Nice.
But my 13-year-old granddaughter and my 23-year-old granddaughter had a guacamole face-off.
Ooh.
Their guacamole is better than any world famous
Good.
fried guacamole that you can get in Mexico. And
Nice.
it's so funny. They're a little bit different spices. One put jalapenos and some is one's chunkier and one's smoother. But I said, I can't vote. I need 2 votes.
Exactly. You're gonna
Right.
enjoy them both for 2 different reasons and be good and be the neutral Nana.
So what a fun thing that they had making guacamole, which is kind of good for us.
Yes.
Oh, the chicken skins in the guacamole. Did you do that?
Yes, I did.
Oh
Nice.
man, that'd be good.
So sorry to talk
Did you-
about food, you guys.
So,
Well,
No, you're
yeah,
fine.
probably
that's-
not starting our fast until after tomorrow's barbecue. So
Yep. That's everybody. I think we're all holding off until, well, not
Me,
him.
and-
He's
me and
so,
Kevin are
him-
going. Me and Kevin are going at it.
him
so
and
that's
Kevin have already started.
My highest DBR this week was 53.
Good job. Nice
Nice.
So-
work.
So that's
Nice
my good
work.
check-in. So I'm not
Just-
wallowing, I'm
just-
celebrating.
Just remember when you go to the gym, make sure you have lots of fat beforehand because that's what's fueling you.
Okay. Well, actually, one day a week I work out with weights on Mondays. That's usually a fasted day.
Yep.
And then but the other days it's
Cardio would be a good idea to have some fat there because you're going
Yeah.
to start. You don't want to burn too much of your muscle that you're creating when you're lifting.
that's true. And I do have electrolytes
You
Yes,
know to
every
keep-
day.
must.
I have my
know to
my
keep those
electrolytes
up.
every single day.
that's a must.
And I just-
Absolutely, because I don't want to get dehydrated, Tammy.
Nope.
Nope.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. And I just want to reiterate to all the women on here, even Wayne too.
Wayne too.
You got to pay attention to those signs because I am telling you, I fought Miss Vicky all morning long saying I was just clenching the day I had my heart attack. It was not clenching. It was all my pain I
Yeah.
felt like a Charlie horse in my tongue and my jaw. It was not, and she kept saying, I'm like, I'm just dehydrated. I'm just thirsty. I'm just what it's like, no, it wasn't. That is what that was. And how he knew that feeling is what it was. When he let me stay awake, when he took me into surgery and they were doing the cath and he was going in there looking around, he was talking me through it. And he said, every time he would get to that area of my heart, I would start clenching again and wincing in pain. And he says, I knew exactly when I was in the right area. He said he must have went in that area like 20 times. And he says, every time I would get there, I would start clenching and hurting. And he knew it. But again, it was a pain in my, it sounds so stupid. And I would have never figured it out, but it was my tongue. It was my neck. There was never anything in my chest. So I guess I'm just saying that, pay attention. I was in cardiac. I used to train people in cardiac rehab, and I knew that, but it didn't kick in.
And
Go ahead.
women do have different symptoms than men.
Absolutely. Jump in, Miss Vicky. What you got?
Okay, I just have to say that when we left the house to go to the airport, which is a little over an hour away, 3 different times I said, okay, I can turn left or I can turn right. You want to go to the emergency room now? No, I think I'm okay. I really want to go. And I'm like, oh, so, and of all days, I went off without my phone. So we get to the airport, get her in the airport, get her up to not to the gate. I couldn't go to the gate, but get her to the ticket counter and check her luggage in and all that. I go home. My grandson was visiting. I pulled in the garage, and before I could get out of the car, he ran up to the car. I opened the door and he said, Tammy called. They've taken, the EMTs are taking her to the hospital.
Oh,
What? And
God love him.
I just ran in, got my phone, ran back to the car, off to the hospital.
Then it was on.
And it was on. But I just want y'all to know, I 3 times tried
was not
to
your
go to the
fault.
emergency room. And what do you do with an adult? You can't just say, well, I'm
And she-
overriding you. I'm
And
trying to
she's
learn.
stubborn.
I'm trying to learn to respect other people's boundaries. So that's the space I was in. What do? Well, I'm going to respect her boundaries. She's
Yep.
an adult. She's a
That was all me.
She's a health provider. I have to respect. And to this day, I regret that
Oh.
I didn't, no, that my mama bear didn't take over because it wanted to, and I overrode it. So,
But if she didn't get to that right hospital, she wouldn't have had the right doctor.
you know what? That is so true, because
that-
I would never
had-
have taken her. I would never have taken her into Austin.
Exactly.
It
had to be that place.
We went by 3 hospitals.
That's why.
Good
had to-
hospitals.
It had to be that doctor. He understood everything.
Yeah.
He understood where she
He
was.
was wonderful.
And he was awesome.
He
So,
was wonderful.
so
But
just-
anyway, I just have to give that disclaimer. Yes, she was with me, but yes, I knew better. I knew she needed to go to the hospital. Anyway, all's well that ends well. So
We love you. Thank you.
we
Thank
love you. And Mama Vicky, just know you did everything perfectly
Absolutely.
right. And I know I'm as bullheaded as they get. And I was thinking, just get my butt on that plane and get me home. I'll be fine. But my warning to everybody is
Pay attention.
pay attention to your body and don't be so bullheaded as I was to ignore the symptoms. And it's not that easy, especially those of us that have had chemos and radiations and toxins put in our body or heart disease or whatever. It's too easy. It's too scary of a moment that I could have lost everything. I could have, and I'm not even gonna start crying again, but
Nope.
it was too fast. And to be sitting there on that tarmac and knowing Miss Vicky had already left the airport. I couldn't get to Lance. My kids weren't around me. There was not a soul around me. For the first time in my life, I did not have a familiar face around me. The first time in my life. I've grown up in a small town. I can't go anywhere that you don't see somebody you know. And I sat there waiting for them to figure out what to do. And it was just the most scariest time of my life, scarier than my cancer journey. It was the scariest moment of my life because I'm like, I'm seriously, this is how I'm going to go down after everything I've been through. I'm going to go down sitting in this airport by myself. So it's just listen to your body. And again, we're all on this journey of learning to read our body, learning to trust our numbers, learning to read our numbers. If we look back, I was off all weekend. I was struggling. I was just stressed, overwhelmed, tired, everything. We got to listen to our body. And as much as I hate backing up keto continuum levels, I trust Dr. Boz with my life. And when she recommends I step back.
I will also say though, that I think one of the only reasons is she is here is because she put herself in a position to be here by taking control of her health and getting her body to the place where it was right before there. Because again, I don't think if that was 2 years ago, I don't think you'd have made it. I really don't. So just that progression of getting her healthy and getting her where she was, that I think that saved her life. Plus an awesome doctor in Austin. And yeah.
And Miss Vicky there at Mama Bear Me.
Yep.
It was always the best part. But anyway, so that's what, just pay attention to your symptoms, guys. Pay attention to what's going on in your body. And we're going to help you through these steps.
And I tell you what, that one thing about the keto program, if you listen to your body, your body will guide you as to what is right and what is wrong. It really is. It is the perfect machine. We've messed it up.
Yep. What you got, Mama?
Let me just add one thing, and this I do regret because I do know I was a nurse 100 years ago. The symptoms of heart attack for women are totally different than men, and it is typically shoulder, scapula, and neck, and it just didn't. So much was going on, it didn't register, but that is something that we women must pay attention to. It's never grab your chest and fall down. It's never that way with women. And it's typically arm, shoulder, neck. Yep. So, okay, it's all.
I'm glad I was typical in something in life because I'm the oddball on everything else. So it's the typical woman heart attack, right? So, all right. Thank you, Mama. We love you. Tiffany, can you jump in? You want to come in? Tell us how your week's going.
Oh, you muted her. Hang on. She hit the button. You hit the button at the same time.
There you go.
There we go. I'm really just getting back on track. I'm, I guess, a couple weeks in.
Okay.
So I don't really have a certain eating window. I do a couple fatty teas a day and a couple meals a day in between there. I'm really bad about tracking, so I'm not very good at tracking my numbers, but I'm also trying to figure out where my protein should be.
And the best way to figure that out is, as much as I hate to say it because everybody hates it, I hate it. I'm not a numbers person. Chronometer is your way to figure that out.
It really is.
Well, I know, but I feel like I don't get enough protein sometimes.
Well, let's me and you get on a time and I'll make sure your chronometer is set up properly for you, because if your chronometer is set up right and you get your fats in you properly, then the proteins will fall into place.
Yeah, I'm not struggling with fat. I think I get plenty of fat. It's just trying to find that balance of protein. And then the other thing I'm struggling with is eating too late at night.
That'll do it.
I'm trying to eat with the family, and with sports and dance and school back in session, we're eating at like between 7 and 8 o'clock usually. So
yeah.
Yep. And there may come a time, Tiffany, that you can maybe get your meal in before you start the run-in with the kids for the day, and then just let the kids eat right now as late so you're not having to, and try to get that so your eating window is quite not so late. You know, us mamas don't have as much leeway as the kids do.
I do try to do that sometimes. Like I'll eat at work before I leave work, as long as I have time, and then drink a fatty tea when I come home while they're eating. But
it's hard.
It's hard. We understand. It is hard.
It is.
My schedule's never the same. And then when I am working, because I'm a paramedic,
Oh, wow.
I never get to eat at the same time either.
Right.
Well, then first of all, get with me. We'll make sure your chronometer is set up right. So you know you're reaching those macros that you need to, especially if you're, working in the heat and stuff like that. We got to keep your fat and protein correct. So you have energy and fuel for your day.
I was going to say, if you're running under the gun like that, you're going to
Your
need
adrenaline flying, everything that
you're going to need to track more, just so you have the energy to go to pull that trigger and go 100 miles an hour when you need to.
You would be one that I would say you keep your energy, like me and Wayne are turning our energy off so we don't get credit for it. I would make sure you keep your energy on. So those days that you are working like a dog, going to 15 different things, adrenaline kicking in, all of those things that you're going to deal with on a more than the average person, I would keep your energy in there to make sure you're meeting those proteins and fats, and those will level out for you and you'll get there. But I would make sure you need to use chronometer. As much as I hate to say that, you need it more than any of us.
It sucks. Trust me.
We all hate it.
I'll be honest, I lost all of my weight before I found Dr. Boz.
Yep.
And I never tracked a single thing. Like,
Now you're to the nitty gritty.
I never tracked macros. I never did any of that. I just did slow and steady, kept my carbs down, and ate and got to my goal weight. But so now I struggle with making myself track.
Okay, but the difference in that is you've lost the weight, but we all know this program is not about weight loss.
Right.
And now you're down to the point of you're at the nitty gritty of healing to the cellular level. Now you're ready to take it to the next level, and it requires tracking. You've got to know where your carb count is. You've got to know where your proteins are, and you got to know where those fats are, at least for a while. And just know, once you get tracking those and you do it faithfully and you know exactly, then you'll get in a routine and you know what will affect your body and what won't. That is why we probably eat the same 4 meals
and the thing
in
is,
a month.
You'll find out what your go-to is.
Yeah.
I know that if I go to this, I'll have this much energy. Bang. I just know it because I've tracked, and not that I'm still tracking, but I know 2 cans of sardines and some bacon. Look out. I am on it.
He's unstoppable.
I'm good for a 3-day fast.
To the sardines yet.
Oh my gosh,
but
I hate them.
It's not just about them. It's just not about the sardines. I know that if I need, heaven forbid, if shit hits the fan in 3 days, we won't have power or whatever, or all hell breaks loose for 3 days. I know that I can get by with 2 cans of sardines and a pound of bacon. That's it. Or half a pound of bacon. I know that I can go 3 days on that, period. That's my go-to. And
when we first started fasting, I hate sardines. Like, I've been trying to develop my palate, as Dr. Boz says, for 2 years, and it's not developing. I still don't like them, but I'm telling you, the best I feel for a fast is when I eat my can of sardines, the last meal before my fast.
It's crazy.
And we do it every week. I do it for the nutrition. I do it. My body loves them. My taste buds just don't, but you'll get there and figure it out.
You'll figure out what is good for you.
You will.
By tracking, you will know what affects you, what doesn't affect you, what spikes you, what doesn't spike you. You'll find out all those little idiosyncrasies. And the other thing I wanted to touch on real quick is, you've done that keto before and you've lost your weight. Now you're at that little bit of a plateau where your body's normalized, said, oh, cool, you've lost some weight. Now what? And it's waiting and it's waiting. You're going to need to throw that other stressor in there of something to ignite your body again to start healing.
Yep. To bring you to the next level.
Level, because it'll go in levels like that all down through the continuum.
And good for you for what you've done, though.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
exactly.
Kudos.
But again, your body's the perfect machine. Listen to your body and it'll tell you, hey man, it's time to stress this again. Let's go for another run. Let's go for another, we're going to go for another season and we're going to do something else. And you push your body again.
You'll get there. You will. Just reach out and let me know if you want help with chronometer. I'll help you get it going.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, honey. Have a good night. Ruth, you want to jump in?
Ditto for what everybody else said, because I really just.
God love you, Ruth.
Yeah.
It's one of those weeks, right?
I'm right there with you all, and I'm going to continue. And I'm going to update my pedometer too.
Okay.
Yep.
I think that's what tomorrow's class tomorrow night's going to be on chronometer. I think we're just going to get on and work on chronometer together so we can all get it set up, because I hate it too. It sucks. It stinks. But it's the only way to know exactly where you're at between the glucose and the ketones, using the blood markers and that chronometer. It is the way to start tracking. It is how you're going to know where your body's at. So we'll get there tomorrow, Ruth. Don't worry about it. And if you need more help, we'll get you on your consultation this week when we talk.
Yeah.
All right. You have a good time. Hang in there.
I
All right, Vicky, you want to jump in next?
Yes, actually,
There's
I haven't.
Which Vicky?
I haven't. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're right. Not Miss Vicky. Vicky.
Oh.
I'm sorry, I did that twice.
You're fine.
Okay, so me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Chronometer challenge, I agree. I hate it. I can't do it. I can stay, I know I'm within my levels. I just can't do it. So tomorrow will be good. I guess my question, and I asked Wayne and he didn't know, and he said, well, ask if you get a chance, is what happens if you don't eat your calorie count, you don't eat your limit, but what you do today is like the high fat and high in protein. Does that
Okay.
make sense?
I might need you to repeat that,
Well,
Vicky.
no.
You're breaking up a little bit on me.
Okay.
I heard what to do if you don't meet your calories. But after that, tell me what else you said. Can you repeat it, please?
Okay. So, for example, like all I ate was fat and protein. There were minimal carbs, any carbs. But I only ate like 6 calories. So does it matter the calories as long as what you eat is in the fat? And the
Okay.
protein levels?
I'm still getting every other word, but I think I got the gist of what you're trying to say. Just know fat is one you need to meet. That is when you need to meet your fat macros. You need to get those numbers in or over. Now, carbs are a limit. So the fewer carbs, the better. And calories, do not even look at calories or you will drive yourself insane. So don't worry about a calorie. The only thing we're worried about is your fat. Sorry. The only thing you need to worry about are meeting your fat macros and staying under on your carbs. And that's the only two to worry about right now. The proteins will even fall into place later. So right now, that's why we say eat the proteins. Oh, did I lose her? There she is. There she is. Eat the proteins and the fats. If you can get the fats in you to your limit, you should be full.
The only C word that you need to worry about is the carbs. That's it. Don't worry about the calories.
No calories, no anything like that. The fats, you have to keep those up because those are going to keep you feeling full and satiated. And that's going to help you get more fat adapted. Okay. So right now you have to ingest the fat so your fat body can use the fat. But right now your fat cells are locked inside. We've got to ingest it. So you've got to meet those fat macros. And you got to.
Okay. So even if you're not hungry, keep eating with the fat.
Yep.
Correct.
Yes. For right now, yes. That will change later. But for right now, I need you eating the fat.
I know. I can see your eyes. It's like, what?
Okay.
Yeah.
There's not, the hunger, like we said, the hunger disappeared. And I literally just, nothing sounds good to me at this point. So it's like, what do you, and too much of the MCT oil, or it just upsets your stomach. So it's like,
Yeah.
So you got to go slow.
Go slow.
I'll get it.
Yeah.
Go slow with the MCT, definitely. Or you'll be running to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And building on getting this, ingesting this fat, you got to go as slow as your body can take it. And that's again why we drag our feet right now. And when Dr. Boss says lick the spoon, I mean my MCT capsules.
Yep.
I have one. I literally take one, and this is how you start. You take one of her capsules, one little gel cap, and you bite it
and just suck the oil out.
And I suck the oil out. Once your body and you know you can tolerate that one capsule and that little bit of oil, then you go to 2. Then you go to 3. You do that, and you do that nice and slow while you're ingesting the other fats, and you rotate through, because those fats will be different from day to day to day. And you got to get them in you. And some people get a gag reflex with them. You know, some people will, just have different reactions to different fats that you have to be able to figure out how to do. Get them in you, whichever. I don't care if you rotate through them. I don't care if you eat one day and one the next day. You got to get them in you. Oh,
We lost her.
We lost
Her
her.
signal cut out,
did it cut out?
but I think Wayne's paying attention.
All right. She needs to get her fats in her, Wayne. Just tell her.
Yeah, and I really appreciate that we joined on with you, because I can say things and be the bad guy and she won't listen to me. So
We always say, let us be the bad guy. Let us,
That's right.
We'll drop the bombs. That's okay.
this is just a curiosity,
All right,
though.
so-
Is
and
there, are there carbs in the gel capsule? Is that why you don't swallow them?
I don't like that gel thing laying in my gut. And
Okay.
I need the reaction to be as quick as possible. I don't want to wait for something to dissolve. To me, it's just one more crap thing in there to deal with. And I
Right.
don't need anything extra in my body. I am very limited on what I put
Vicky's
in my-
back on
Vicky's back.
minus video.
Yes. Vicky, if you can hear me.
A friend- Yes, I do. I'm so sorry. I'm at a friend's house dog sitting,
You're fine.
and it's very sporadic.
You're fine. I just
Thank
want you
you.
to make
Thank
sure
you
you're
for the answer.
Yes, you get your fats in you. Don't worry about anything else. Get the fats in you. Eat the meat, add the fat. That's basically, if you want the simple version of doing this, eat the meat, add the fat. If you are
Okay.
hitting those fat macros, fill in with the protein till you're full. Don't worry about it.
It's
It
just
will
Okay.
adjust later. We can adjust what meat, we can adjust
Okay.
how the details, we can adjust how clean you're eating. We can adjust all of that later. We got to get your chemistry going good so you feel good first. Then we can clean up. If you want to eat what's Dr. Barry even say, the hand rub massage, whatever versions
Yeah,
of
whatever.
meat, grass fed, whatever, you can do all that later. But right now we need the protein and the fats in you at whatever.
if you're taking a bite of protein, it better have a lot of fat on it.
Yep. It needs
Everybody,
to be a carrier
lot
for
of fat.
fat right now. And that will change later. And people that don't have metabolic health issues, some people can get away with doing it easier. We have to, those of us that are thicker, that have broken metabolisms and stuff like that, we have to ingest the fat, because right now the fat is locked in the cell. Right now we have to ingest that fat. Later on, that cell will unlock and you'll be able to burn that fat for fuel. But right now your body don't know how to do that. It's used to functioning on glucose. So we've got to change that transition and change that chemistry.
In that function, when your body is doing that on glucose, it's taking all the fat because it knows that it's a good thing to burn later if you need it. So what it's doing is it's scooping
Storing
it and storing it. What we want it to do is we want to introduce fat. So my body says, oh, wait a minute, I have an abundance of this fat coming in, this fuel. I'll start to run on that. Then I'll release some of this fat that I've stored. And now we can go a little bit longer. So once you get that to take place, then you're on a roll.
And that transition happens so easy for some people and so much harder for others. I'm one of those that took my body forever, but little smarty pants over here, he half-assed can do it, and his switched over and he got down to his junior high weight. And I love to hate him for it, because it's just that moment of, I can't imagine being at my junior high weight. I love you, babe.
I love you.
But it's those moments of, it goes that easy for them,
But
it doesn't for some of us.
everybody is different.
Yeah.
I mean, and just once you get to that level, I mean, Virginia's been to that level too. You find out, now I have to change it all up again because I got tired. I got exhausted. I was hungry. I mean,
And
I
he's
was
not a grouchy person.
angry.
And he came home grouchy.
And it's like, hon,
What the heck?
I'm hungry. Well, you shouldn't have that much. I said, I know, but I'm hungry.
And we rechecked his chronometer, adjusted his macros in there and his goals and his weight and where he had lost, and his fat changed, and it changed the whole thing.
I mean, I was at
It was like, wow,
200
I didn't realize it would change that much.
270 grams of fat a day is what I need to run on. And
That's a lot.
I only am allowed 77 grams of protein.
So it
so
is
it
a ton.
Almost works out to a 3-to-1 ratio.
And we actually poured it out into a cup to get the visual of, and it's not that he drinks a cup and a half of fat every day either. I don't mean that, but to get the visual to understand how much fat he needed to consume to run the amount of energy that he runs a day. It was literally a cup and a quarter of olive oil or avocado oil. A cup and a quarter equivalent is what in fat he needed to ingest a day. So that's huge. So that's those of you that have reached those goals or anything like that.
If you're running out of energy,
it's a
you
different
need more
goal.
fat.
You need more fat because he don't have the storage in reserve right now. I could run off my butt for the next year. He can't, kind of thing. It's just those moments you're going to get there. But again, that is why building your chemistry one step at a time, one level at a time, and your keto continuum will take you there to reach whatever your goals are. And if your goals are just to clean up a little glucose, you can do that. If it's just to lose a little bit of weight, you can do that. Or if you're at my level and I need to heal every darn cell in my body, Virginia, she's a cancer survivor. Vicky,
do it.
How many of us on here are cancer survivors? We've got to reverse this damage. You've got to prevent any of this stuff happening. You got to know, you got to do it. You guys just get there and stay there. You can do this. Good job, guys. Laura, you want to come and jump in?
Sure.
Hey,
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm still doing 1 meal a day. I'm
Nice.
still and my meal is usually from I'd say usually around 11. So
I'm so jealous.
That's awesome.
But my numbers are not great. My glucose is usually in the 80s, which is fine. But my ketones are like 0.5. Every once in a while, I'll wake up and it'll say like 2.3. I'm like, what?
Okay.
Then it goes right back.
Have you been this way for a long time that your body's just leveled out, balanced out?
Yeah.
Okay. So do you still have weight to lose or have you reached your goals?
No, I still have weight to lose. I'm not at a healthy BMI yet.
Okay. Well, I would just.
That's on Laura's end.
Oh, okay. Like, whew.
Sorry, that was my phone.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. Just keep going and keep those numbers going steady. And I would guess the next time you can stress it, if you're down to 1 meal a day, the only other way to stress it would be maybe adding a workout, adding some strength training, adding some other kind of stressor, sauna.
I do saunas every day.
Nice.
I do a 20-minute sauna. And it's at the Y, so I can't control the temperature, and it's 190. So I do 20 minutes.
190 for 20
that.
minutes. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be sweet.
That's cool. Good for you.
So I do 20 minutes, and I have gone into the steam room because I thought that's another stress.
Yep.
I walk 5 miles a day with heels, and that's something I've always, now like before when I was heavy, I could always walk a lot or exercise a lot. I just never lost weight. I mean, I would win the contest at the Y for exercising the most, not lose at all.
Oh.
So exercise has always been a part of my life, and I enjoy walking. It doesn't wear me out. I don't get sore. It's just my daily routine is to walk 5 miles, and I love it.
Have you done
some people have told me to stop walking, and I'm like, nope, I'm not going to stop walking. I've been doing it for over 2 years. I've been doing keto for over 2 years. And I thought, no, I stopped exercising in the beginning because Dr. Boz said to.
Yeah.
And
that's the only
60
protocol is
pounds.
right at the beginning at that protocol. So you're not getting that cortisol rise. But if you've been used to it your whole life and that's just your normal, I would not give that up. Your body needs that. Your heart needs it. You keep going and take that as a win, but we'll find another way to stress you. And if that means you got to do the sauna, just stay slow and steady in it. I would think would be sounds like you're doing everything perfectly. So I would just stay slow and steady.
I need to get to like, I think right at 140 to be at the top of my BMI for my height. And I'm 160 right now.
Okay. So just wait it out. Keep going. Rinse and repeat. You're at 1 meal a day. If you're meeting your macros, you're staying it down on your carbs, your chronometer, you're meeting your fat goals, you're exercising, you're saunaing every day. Girl, you're killing it. Good for you.
Yeah. So
nice job.
I would like to lose it for health reasons. Other than that, I'm okay not losing it. I'm not like dying to get these last 20 pounds off, but I know I would like to for health reasons. So can you do more sauna per day?
We go longer, and I know Dr. Boz even goes longer. When she had hers in her house, she was doing, I think, 180, and they were trying for the hour or 40 minutes or something. I forget what the time frame was, but
Ours taps out at 140.
Is that 180 though? Yeah.
Ours,
I
yeah,
was thinking
ours,
she was at a lower temperature.
ours tops out at 140. That's as high as ours will go.
yeah.
I
So
was
it's-
thinking Dr. Boz was lower too.
I think when she was at her house, I think it would go higher. Now that I think she goes elsewhere, I think I might have that backwards. I'm not
Okay.
positive on that, but I'm thinking one was higher and one was lower.
Have you done fasting?
I have done fasting, not recently, but it's like
As in,
every time I go to fast,
Like over
I've done
36
72-hour
hours?
fasting. Oh yeah,
Yep.
I've done 72-hour. I've done 72-hour fastings.
Okay,
Okay.
well, that's the other way where
do-
the stress comes in, that we think that's where the magic happens for us, is hit those 72s. The 8 weeks in a row of the
The way-
72s is where it happens. And if you
Yeah, and I
only
might
got
need
20
to
pounds-
go back. I need to go back to that probably.
Yep.
Okay,
it can-
so if I haven't, I've done 36-hour fast a lot, a few 48s, but should I start right in for 72 or should I do a few?
If you're
48s
already at
first?
one meal a day, I'd do a 48, see how you feel. And if you do good on that one, by the next week, I'd be ready. I'd go. But that's me, because
Okay.
I like to push it
She
and run.
goes a little bit hard. I would my suggestion would be get yourself consistent.
In a
do
rhythm.
some
Yeah.
do some 48s back to back to back. Put like 4 of those together on a consistent basis and see how you feel.
He's telling you proper. I'm
And
the
if-
one that likes
Yeah.
to push through.
You know, after those like four weeks in a row at 48 consistently, if you want to go see how you feel, go to 72 and see if you can
Okay.
put those together. The more the where the magic happens is where the consistency comes in.
Yep.
To where you can back it up 172 after another 72 or even a 48. You won't get as big a health benefits with a 48 as you do a 72, but it's the consistency of them back to back to back is where towards the end of that series is when you're going to see the results.
Yeah.
And it's going to take you 4 to 6 of them to get, see any results. And by that time you're like, oh, this is where I'm rocking out. And boom, you're at 8. You cycle through again, take a couple weeks off, then go right back at it and hit them again. And you'll see a lot of magic happen.
And those 72s, 8 in a row like that, to me, the mindset, I don't know what it always makes me think of this, but it always makes me think of spring cleaning. It's just that you're cleaning the corners, you're cleaning the nooks and crannies, you're cleaning that stored glucose out of the liver that's hiding, all of those things that are just hiding and building up in there. It's just that deep, deep cleaning. It's not just the running the sweeper over the middle of the floor. It's the deep cleaning of your body. So if you haven't done the 72s, the 8 weeks in a row, Laura, I would challenge you to maybe get to that and come and do it with us.
Well, it all sounds good, but I was hoping that a sauna would be my stressor. And I don't have those fast.
Yeah, but if you're carrying all that stress and your body's rocking it and loving it, you may need to do the fast to get those last 20 pounds off.
I know.
Do it and get
I
your
just didn't
body
wanna
there. I'd
hear
love
it.
to see, what your stats are. That'd be so cool to see. If you've done it this long and you're this consistent, that's good for you. That's just really good. I'm proud of you. I'm jealous too. I wish I was there. So any other questions? Anything we can help anybody with this week? If not, all of you that are in the paid group right now, we're gonna have class tomorrow night. Looks like people are still wanting to do class tomorrow night. So we're getting, if you guys are, let's just get on, touch base. Let's plan on, it sounds like we need to go through chronometer, and it's a good time to do that while we're kind of dragging our feet and getting this part going and getting everybody's fat-based hormones happy before we push forward. Be ready to sign on. We'll do chronometer. If you can't find your password and you need to start a new account, do not panic, because what I'll have you do is sign in, and I'll help you sign in, and we can put Journey to Healing for your password or whatever, so I can get into your chronometer and help you. So if
There was one question on YouTube I wanted to hit real quick, because Jennifer Simpson said she's having consistent trouble when she increases the fat levels to chronometer. What chronometer says she has a little bit of digestive issues.
Mm-hmm. That happens a lot if you try to go too fast. A lot of that is, Dr. Boz hates to use the word leaky gut, but some of that when you got gut issues that you need to heal or inflammation in the gut, those are times that I highly, oh, look how pretty. I highly recommend the good homemade bone broth. and go nice and slow. Don't introduce those fats too fast or too much at one time. Make sure you're spreading them out through your eating window. And the bone broth that we make here at home, it is one of those things, I swear to God, I think I could live off of it for months. I mean, it is just so full of nutrition and nourishment. And Grandma Rose did live off of it, a quarter cup of bone broth for 40 days when she fasted. So there's a lot of healing properties in that. If your gut needs some healing when you're fasting, or even every day, make that good homemade bone broth. It's too easy. There's nothing hard about it. It's time consuming and it takes a while, but there's nothing hard about it. And it's too good in nutrition.
I told her just try to go slower, give her
Yep.
body a little bit of grace, because you're changing over
You'll
to a
get there.
different fuel.
You'll get there. All those enzymes and stuff got to catch up and figure out what you're ingesting and what's different. Your microbiome will change in your gut. All those things, just take your time. Don't rush your body too much. The meat and the fat is where it's at.
Because when you hit your body with that much fat and it's not ready for it, that's gonna be unpleasant.
And if Kevin was on here, he'd be on here laughing, telling you some kind of poop story right
Yeah,
now.
absolutely.
Because we all have, there's a million jokes that we can all tell on the bowel issues and the poop problems and the things that
You
have happened.
cannot trust a fart on keto.
You just gotta
No.
you do.
He's giving me a thumbs up.
It's just one of those, we've all been there. It's one of those moments of, oh my, so you gotta go as your
Go
body
slow.
can handle it. And doesn't mean just because somebody else can handle all these grams of fat in one day. I mean, we chugged them for a while. We were okay. My daughter-in-law, I'm like, yeah, just chug along with us. She was sicker than a dog for
Didn't like
days. It was just awful. So you've got to figure out what your body can handle. And just, I'm one of those people, you got to be able to push your body. You got to know where your stressor is. Don't push it so hard that you're sicker than a dog, but don't use it as an excuse to not push. I guess that's finding that fine line.
Yep, you got to find that balance.
You got to find the balance of not giving, it's not an excuse. It's a limit. It may be an adjustment, but it's not an excuse. It's not, I can't do this because I can't eat fat. Yes, you can. You just have to go slow. And if that means one drboz capsule a day for a week, then you do one capsule a day for a week. Then you up it the next week. We are not in this for the race to see how fast we can get through 12 steps. We are in this to get your body to transition.
Slow and steady.
Slow and steady is going to win this race every time. Any other questions? Anything else over there? Everybody good?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody good? If not, if you need anything, you guys all got my number. Text me, send us a message. If not, we'll see you tomorrow night on class. Beginners will be at 7, intermediate and advanced at 8. You're welcome to sit into both classes or whatever you need to do. We'll see all of you then. And I think we've got everybody scheduled. Bug, help me get everybody's scheduled for the one-on-one consults this week. So hopefully we're going to hit the floor running this week. Again, I do have a dear friend that her husband is passing right as we speak. So it's
not good.
It's those moments. I may have an emergency come up if we have funeral or anything like that to go to. I'll post and let everybody know. But
yep.
Say a prayer for him. It's a rough time right now, and we love y'all. And we're here. If you need anything, just let us know.
Thank you guys. Love you.